Happy almost September. We're just a couple of days away from September. Grab yourself a cozy beverage, coffee. I've got tea that I got in San Francisco the last time I visited, because we are doing the Dark Autumn Bucket List Part 2, talking all about bone-chilling, spooky reads that are perfect for fall. All right, so let's go ahead and get started because I have a lot of books. Let's count how many exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 books that we're talking about today. So I've organized these into categories. So I have atmospheric books, bone-chilling books, monster books, witchy and occult books, and then there's one that kind of fits into witchy and occult, but I think it's more of like gothic horror. So that's the category that that one falls under. Let's start with the first one. That's the perfect temperature right now. First one is probably one you've heard of or are familiar with because it came out, did it come out this year? It's in copyright 2019, but I don't, oh wait, first paperback edition 2020. So this came out really recently, right? Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. We're starting off with the atmospheric books. So I have 4 that are atmospheric, including 2 of my own books. So really 2 books that are not mine, 2 books that I wrote. So this is Leigh Bardugo's adult debut, and it's a story of power, privilege, dark magic, and murder set among the Ivy League elite. It's got some dark academia vibes. I believe there's necromancy involved, cult-like rituals. So, you know, the perfect fall read, although I do believe there are some graphic scenes. So that's just something to be aware of if you want to pick this book up. The next atmospheric book on my list is one that just got here today. I've been waiting for it. I'm so excited about it. Is The Lost Apothecary. This is by Sarah Penner. Now this story takes place in 18th century London, so like already, hello fall, where a secret apothecary shop caters to an unusual clientele in that they sell poison to women to use against the oppressive men in their life. But things really take a not so great turn when a 12-year-old patron makes a fatal mistake, which I'm guessing is that they were sold the poison or got a hold of the poison or ingested the poison, but I'm not really sure since I haven't read it. We're then taken to present day London, where the main character, Caroline Parswell, stumbles upon a clue to the unsolved apothecary murders. And of course, her life collides with these cases in a very unexpected way. So, really excited for this one. And the last 2 books on my list in the atmospheric category are my own books, Shadow Crown and Beyond the Stars and Shadows. So Shadow Crown is a YA dark fantasy novel. It's a series of 6 books. Currently 3 are out, and it's essentially about an assassin named Arden O'Leary who learns that she is a Lucier, which means she's someone with magical abilities. But since magic has been outlawed by the king, she's essentially forced to leave her home in Trendeloth, the castle, the kingdom basically, as well as the only life that she's ever known. And of course, when she leaves, she's hoping that there are more like her, more Lucier, which, spoiler alert, there are. So it's kind of hard to give a summary of book 1 without getting into book 2 and then book 3 and then the rest of the books in the series. So if I had to sum it up in one sentence, it would be assassin turned Caldari, just a Lucier, is simultaneously drawn to her own inner darkness while also battling it, and unknowingly holds the key to reclaiming the land's magic, but not if her own darkness prevails. So that's Shadow Crown in a nutshell. And then, yes, another one of my books, Beyond the Stars and Shadows. This one is more metaphysical. The story does take place in the month of October, so you will get all of the fall vibes from this one. That was a very key piece in my mind as I was writing this book, was fall vibes, fall vibes, fall vibes. There's talk of sweaters and boots and foggy, rainy days and cabins in the mountains and poetry readings and disappearances and an unexpected romance that isn't what you think it is. So if you want all the fall vibes and a far-reaching, soul-expanding read, this is it. Moving on to the next category, we have our bone-chilling reads. And the only 2 books I have in this category are both by the same author, one of my favorite authors of all time, Colleen Hoover, Verity, and Layla. let's start with Verity. This is in my top 3 favorite books of all time. So in this book, the main character is hired to be a ghostwriter for a very well-known author, and she actually goes to this author's house to basically like live in there and to write the rest of this series. And so you're kind of wondering, why would this really famous author now suddenly need a ghostwriter? And so that's kind of like, I don't want to say too much because you just need to read this book. It is so good. It is so mind-bending. It is so twisty, and it is so dark and unexpected. I read this in a single day, and I have reread it multiple times because it is just that good. It literally gave me chills when I was reading it. And what I love about this too is that it's Colleen's, one of her indie books. So it's not published through a traditional publisher. And I just love that. I love supporting indie books. And so this is one of those, and it's really good. It's really dark and twisty. And like I said, it's bone chilling. So highly, like, of all the books in this, I can't really say that because I haven't read all of these books, but highly recommend this one. And then we've got another favorite here by Colleen Hoover. This is one of her more recent releases called Layla. It is a paranormal romance, but it is also so much more than that. So you've got ghosts, and you've got an interesting dynamic and like kind of like, I want to say relationship, but not really. It's more of a dynamic between the main character and this ghost. There's talk of souls and the afterlife and what's actually possible. And at the end of this book, there is such an unexpected twist that I did not see coming, and I was so pleasantly surprised. It wrapped up, it like brought everything together, right? Everything just came together. So highly, highly recommend this book as well. Warning though, this one will, like, it did keep me up at night, especially when you get to the scene with the piano. If you know, you know. I had a piano in my bedroom at the time of reading this, and like a keyboard piano, and I had to move it out of my bedroom because I was just like, no, nope, 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 nope. So that's what I'm saying. Her books just make you feel something. They make you feel something right to your bone. This is why I call them bone chilling reads. Our next category is the monster category, because I really couldn't think of a better I don't know, a better name for the category. But we have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I hope I'm saying her name right. And then also This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. So I read Stalking Jack the Ripper when it first came out, and I really enjoyed the whole aesthetic and kind of like the whole vibe of the book. I'm going to be honest, it's been a while since I've read it, which is why I plan on doing a reread this fall. But obviously this is kind of like a, I don't really want to say like a retelling, but I guess in a way it is. It's a retelling of Stalking Jack the Ripper. So you have monsters, you have Frankenstein vibes. So the author also has more of these types of books in a sort of collection. I wrote down the names of some of the other books: Kingdom of the Wicked, Capturing the Devil, Hunting Prince Dracula. Those are just a few that I know of, but they all definitely fit well into the Halloween category. This Savage Song is another one that I read a while ago, so I plan on doing a reread of it. This is a dark urban fantasy about two heirs over a divided city that's overrun with monsters. Essentially, these two characters have to decide whether they are going to be friends or enemies, if they're going to be heroes or villains. So in my opinion, it is a perfect fall read. Next category is one of my favorite categories, the witchy and occult category. So the first book on the list is The Bone Witch. So this is book 1 in a dark fantasy trilogy where the main character has a gift for necromancy, which is discovered when she accidentally raises her brother from the dead. This makes her a bone witch, and basically what happens is she's ostracized from the town, but ends up being taken in by an older bone witch, an elder bone witch, if you will, who teaches her how to use her elemental magic. Of course, there are dark forces at play, and so decisions must be made. as it is with so many dark fantasy novels, including my own. But that's what makes it mysterious and intriguing. Next up is Serpent and Dove. So this is one I haven't read, but from what I've heard, mostly on Book Talk, this book has enemies to lovers, a slow burn witch hunter romance, an intricate magical system, morally gray characters, it's like my favorite thing ever, and an inner battle of right and wrong, maybe light and dark, I don't know. So the main character, Lou, flees her coven and ends up taking shelter in another city, forsaking all magic and living off of whatever she can steal. There, witches are feared, hunted, and burned. Sounds familiar. And then, if I understand correctly, there's another character, Reed, who's sworn to the church, but he ends up being married to Lou. Like, I don't know if it's an arranged marriage. I don't really know what happens there, but the two of them end up married. But I'm pretty sure he is the witch hunter. And like we just said, Lou is a witch. So do we see where this is going? Will she choose him? Her witch heritage? Am I completely off on the whole storyline? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. And then the last book in the witchy occult category is The Witches of Blackbrook. So this book is about 3 sisters that escape the Salem witch trials when the eldest sister casts a spell that hurtles their souls forward through time. After being separated for centuries, fate finally reunites them in the present day. One is a healer, one is a teacher, and one is a deceiver. Will their reunion return their full powers or end their souls' journeys forever? I can't wait to find out. And the last category I have, like I said, kind of fits into the occult category, but I'm putting it under gothic horror, is House of Shadows by Darcy Coates. So this book is about a woman named Sophie who is shattered when disaster bankrupts her family, but unexpectedly a wealthy stranger asks for her hand in marriage. Now, marrying him will restore her family's fortune and save them from scandal, but it also casts her out into a life in a place called Northwood. Northwood is a vast and unnaturally dark mansion that is situated hours outside of civilization. She discovers that the house is haunted by the family's ancestors, and as much as she wants to escape and leave, she also finds herself being drawn to this mysterious man that she married. But of course, he's keeping secrets about the house and about his family, and I wonder what else. Probably a lot. I'm excited to read it. Okay, so that is my Dark Autumn bucket list, part 2, spooky, bone-chilling, occult type books. That's my TBR this fall, and I'm just now realizing it's 12 books and I haven't started, but it's a good thing we're starting this now. I don't know if I'll be able to read all of these. It's probably gonna be like a September through November type situation, maybe even into December. We'll see. I would love to know what you plan on reading this fall, what you would add to this list. I'm always looking for book recommendations, especially if they are, again, more on the spooky side, a bit darker, kind of twisty, and bone-chilling. Let me know what other suggestions you have. Leave some comments down below. I would greatly appreciate it. And other than that, I will see you all in my next video. It is 6:30 in the evening, and I just finished the full moon ritual circle in the Inner Divine Collective for the full moon in Aquarius, and I actually booked a ghost tour, like a haunted town tour, walk, whatever you want to call it, at 9 o'clock tonight. And so I've just been doing like my cleansing rituals, my shielding rituals, making sure I have all my crystals and everything that I need before going over there. But I wanted to bring my camera. I don't know if they're going to allow me to film or not, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool that like 40 minutes from me, there's a super haunted town. So I wanted to document it because why not? So I recently, like today, it just got delivered today, got this voice recorder, very like Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans-esque. So I'm excited about it. I'm gonna bring it. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use, I have like a Polaroid camera And then I have this little guy, and yeah, I'm just excited, even though I don't know if I can use either of them or this camera, but we're gonna bring the things just in case.